What's going on, everyone? I just wanted to once again voice my support for Porcu-doodle. I think he's on the right track. I think that the marketing arm is in full frontal assault. I think that from a number of fronts, he is advancing currently. There was one post that he had recently about a sort of future event that contested a 12-week mandatory paid leave clause for just your average worker, even a small business worker. He's got 3 colleagues. He's mandatory. I hire a snow shoveler for however much. You don't need to know. But I'm not paying him 12 weeks paid vacation. It's just not going to happen. And so, to accelerate this clause into manifest it, pass it, and have it be law, what it's going to do actually is help the massive multinational corporations to fill the void that those businesses might be able to take advantage of. I look to the local job market. I look to the streets of Rochester. I look to the art festivals in Rochester, Jazz Festival, East Avenue Festival, Park Avenue Festival, Greek Festival. There's a lot of opportunity for business networking, as well as the sale of many fine goods. And $700, I believe, for a street license to sell your goods in Rochester, to take advantage of those East Avenue partiers, on the weekend, which would be nice. And I feel that the roadblocks are such that unless you are part of something that is more established, and unless you're part of, what some might call the old boys club, which I myself am and should be a rightful member, you can't really. And where's the old boys club in the Rochester art market, basically? But I want to buy a $80 printer. I want to print off my work and take it to market, right? Farmers take their goods to market. They spend years farming their goods and then they take them to market. But, happens to be the case, recently out of college, got to save up for the nest egg. $400 a day or whatever they charge for the festivals. Yeah, it's a bit much. And a lot of the people there is kind of the same business that you saw at the last street festival. You go from booth to booth, and you got the trinkets, you got the necklaces, you got the fried dough, maybe a band playing somewhere. I could be there, right? You wouldn't forget my booth, the way I set my booth. But $400 a day, it's a bit much. You go out with your friends downtown for a night on the town, you might see me. I might be out there peddling goods, trying to cause a ruckus. I don't think so. I'm just sitting in a booth, You want to stop by, have a couple words. Maybe I'll have some friends there. Maybe we could do some networking. But to be honest, I don't want to go to the bar and stand around and spend money for drinks and try to get girls to talk to me, They might be able to get me to, sell them something, right? I want to be capitalistic in nature. I mean, I'm not trying to waste time. I'm like a chilled out type A personality. I'm not going to just go out and just walk around and do nothing, okay? Focused on the next action at hand. And I might be down there, but you're not going to see me, forking out $100 for, drinks for the crew, basically. I've been bought drinks many times. There are a lot of very benevolent people, and love the bar scene. And I think inherently it's a great place to network. But I'm the guy that's outside the bar, and I'm friends with the bar owner, and I'm the guy that's in the bar. And I have my own booth set up in the bar, whether I'm the bartender, whether I'm the waiter, the manager of the facility. There's another enterprise. You could call it consignment, lot of times you got to sell it beforehand in order to meet the bottom line. But I'm out there and I'm talking, I'm networking, and basically that's me. But after $700, and what you're doing to cause that, to force that, is you're wasting precious time, and the kind of time that is going to drive the Rochester economy. And without that mercantile system, what you're going to have is something that's stagnant. Rochester as a city should be focused on emerging entrepreneurs and creating conditions that are going to foster the kind of skills necessary in order to bring Rochester out of the basically slump created by the Fastberry, created by Kodak. I emailed some high-level people at Kodak, and it seems, look, it's not defunct, and they are making contracts, and Xerox is in Rochester, and they're doing well too. They've been purchasing call centers. The call centers are interesting. A good friend of mine has informed me about the current state of affairs, basically. And a lot of it requires better management, but a lot of it requires effort on the part of the city to make investments that are not just excursions to Canada for $200, but they are drawing capital from across the country, billions and billions in capital. And so, we have to be artful, we have to be creative. I've seen downtown Rochester, they have those posters, but you need to replace those posters with my art in order to really get the city flourishing again. And so that's basically the gist of it at this point. And I'm not running away from the issue. The issue stands that there are entry costs that a person's portfolio pays for, but that, the monetary guideline is conflicting with the guideline of talent, of progression, of the influx of action that's able to create networking, components that might lead to cultural significance and advance basically global artistic standards, right? So I think it's important for you to go out there and support something, not because necessarily you want to look good, but because you think that the big idea is being increased. It's like a sphere, basically, and at the center of the sphere is Porcu-sphere, all right? But he's not going to be able to make much impact if it wasn't for you, for example, And people intellectually curious, people who are looking to get a foothold in a kind of scenario that might propose that it's actually them, that the intellectual curiosity that prevails at the end of the day, and not some abstract ideology. Call it the status quo. To be honest, I'm not too concerned at this point. Much progress has been made. 3 of the leaders of the top 150 architectural firms in the U.S. may have been in contact with me, may not have been. There may or may not have been 300 plus emails sent out in the past week to achieve forward momentum. But as is apparent, forward momentum really cannot be avoided at this point. So that being said, let me just wrap up here and let you know that I appreciate and am grateful for your viewership. Check out fsmplace.net and findsourceinc.net as well. Thank you. Have a great